Hey, what's up, Thrive family? It's Dr. Mike here. We are here for our wellness workshop. I apologize, I am running a couple minutes late today. I decided I was going to change it up a little bit and take things outside on this beautiful Tuesday afternoon. So, let's dig in a little bit. We're here to uplift, we're here to enlighten and educate. I believe education is of the utmost importance. We want to make sure that we have a good understanding of how to best care for our system. So let's dig in a little bit today. So today our big focus is on the immune system. Obviously, a big portion of what we do in our day-to-day life, we rely on our immune system. So really, what is our immune system first off? Our immune system is a complex system of organs, tissues, that relies on both cells and proteins to really defend our body from outside invaders, the germs, the viruses, the different things that can come into our system and cause breakdown and dysfunction to occur. So it's a very complicated but amazing system that allows our body to defend itself. So obviously important to keep it functioning at its best. Now, I think one of the coolest things about our immune system that I find absolutely fascinating is its capacity for memory. Yeah. Your body actually has a natural inborn memory to itself. Every time our immune system is activated and it fights off a different outside invader, it creates a memory of the way it attacked that system so that it can remember for future infections. This is what allows our body to actually continually function better throughout the course of our life. Why we can get a cold one time and then the next time it comes around we don't tend to get it, or even if we do, it's not as severe. Our body has a quicker and more productive response to it. I find that to be one of the most fascinating things about our body is its capacity to continually be adapting to function better. So let's make sure we can do it in its best capacity. So I've come up with some simple tips that we can go over here today of how we can take most advantage of caring for our immune system and allowing it to function at our best. And I think one of the core things we have to focus on in terms of that is our ability to manage stress. Always a fun buzzword for most people. We all have stress in our lives and it comes in many different forms. I think probably the most understandable for most people is the idea of emotional stressors. We all have them. The financial stresses that may come about, relationships, the stress of what's going on around us in the world right now can bring about a lot of emotional stress on our system. And it can actually directly affect our overall health of our body. The more stressed out we are, research has directly shown us that our body functions to a lower capacity. We are more susceptible to infection, to disease. So it goes without saying, we want to make sure we can manage those things. When it comes to those emotional stressors, one of the best ways I find, and Dr. McKenzie and I find, to manage those things is really through meditation. Taking a moment to slow down, take some slow, deep breaths, and really put yourself inward and clear your mind of the constant clutter. This can be one of the best ways to manage those day-to-day stressors that happen. And if you can turn this into a habit, a consistent habit on a day-to-day basis, whether you feel like you need it or not, you're going to tend to find that you're going to be more centered in your way you outlook your outlook on the world. We're going to see that we have a greater capacity to manage the different chaotic things that happen throughout our day so that they don't cause the same level of stress on our system. So absolutely vital in that respect. Let's meditate, guys. Now, our next big one in terms of stressors is another fairly obvious one, is our physical stressors. The negative stressors of our daily life, the accidents, the injuries that we go through, the repetitive motions, the poor postures, just the traumas that we can put on our system from that physical capacity. We all have them. We all have different things that go on. Even myself, as a doctor of chiropractic, one of my biggest things is focusing on the physical aspect of the body and doing the proper things like proper posture. I even have negative stress on my day-to-day life. Just the very nature of me caring for patients puts a stress on my system. So how do we combat that? What do we do to keep ourselves functioning at our absolute best? Well, first and foremost, I think seeing a chiropractor is a big part of that. Let's make sure we care for our spine, so our body functions at its best capacity to heal. But additionally to that, one of the biggest things I always advocate for anybody, especially our patients, is to move. It's pretty simple. Our body is designed to move. This is why we have joints. This is why we have muscles. Movement keeps our body healthy. Not even just from an exercise standpoint, from an athletic standpoint, but from a day-to-day functional standpoint. Moving our body actually activates all of the systems within ourselves so that they function to a better capacity. For me, I look at movement as a positive stressor. If we are moving in a controlled pattern with conscious thought towards it, we can label that as a positive stressor on our body. The more we can introduce positive stresses on our body, your body's going to adapt to our positive stress, and it's going to give us a better capacity to handle those negative stressors of daily life. It's going to give us a better ability to handle those accidents and injuries that may end up occurring. And even though we may still end up getting injured, we're going to have a greater capacity to bounce back from them. This is why even as we look into surgical models nowadays, typically before they actually cut into somebody at this point in time, they have learned that by preparing their body ahead of time, getting them to do therapy beforehand, the body responds quicker, it heals faster. And people are going to get back to normal function and more complete function to a better capacity. And that's exactly what we should be doing. We should be exercising on a daily basis. 30 minutes a day is really all it takes. Get our heart rates moving and allow our body to heal and function at a better capacity. So, always an important one. Now, another good way we can take care of things from that physical aspect of things, another good tip that we typically recommend to our patients particularly, is those Epsom salt baths. I absolutely love Epsom salt baths. They are not only just relaxing, being in a nice warm soak, it helps with the muscle, it's going to help with blood flow, but Epsom salts particularly contain magnesium. Magnesium is amazing for our muscle systems, not only for their function, but for their repair. We tend to find that it's a great way to let spasming or overused muscles relax. It lets them calm down. Everybody's pretty much can understand that a body that's more calm and relaxed is going to function to a better capacity. So I highly suggest Epsom salt baths for that one. Now, as you dig a little bit deeper, another one that people don't think about in the same capacity probably is the chemical stressors of day-to-day life. Now, probably the more obvious one there is the things that we put into our mouth on a constant basis, the things we eat. So, yes, it does matter what we put into our system. What we put in certainly is what comes out. So, we need to be mindful of the types of food we put into our bodies. It's clear that if we eat more clean vegetables in our system, our body's going to function to a better capacity. It's going to positively affect our immune function, so it has a better ability to fight off those foreign invaders on a consistent basis. We need those vital minerals and vitamins throughout the course of our day-to-day life so that our body functions appropriately, so that it heals to the better capacity, and so that we can keep producing those necessary cells and proteins in our system. So we want to eat a clean diet. We want to eat more close to as nature provides us, if you will. Dr. McKenzie and I love focusing on just purely looking at vegetables throughout the course of our meals, as well as just clean proteins when necessary. It really provides us a better overall diet to keep our body functioning better. The more we can avoid processed foods, things that are coming in boxes and cans that you can look at the ingredients list and not know what half the ingredients are, the better off we're going to be. Because unfortunately, when we start looking at those things, if you can't understand what any of those ingredients are, more than likely it's something your body doesn't need, or it could even be harmful to your system and actually lower your body's capacity to function from an immunal standpoint especially. So as you dig a little bit deeper to that one as well, one thing I always recommend is looking at a more anti-inflammatory style diet. And that really comes about of obviously eating the more vegetables and leaner proteins, but also being conscious of reducing our excess exposure to sugars, especially the alcohols, basically all those fun foods to some regards, at least for some people. We want to limit those. Not that we can't have cheat days, not that we can have those in simple moderation. You know, everything certainly is available in moderation, but we want to make sure that we're limiting those unnecessary sugars in our day-to-day diet. If we're gonna have sweet stuff, let's get it from a more natural source. Eat a piece of fruit because it's gonna have fiber in it. Fiber lets our body digest sugar to a better capacity. It's gonna actually utilize it like it's supposed to, rather than just storing it away or blasting our system with insulin, if you will. So we want to make sure that we can reduce those things. Now, obviously, we know at this time frame, people are getting bored. People are having way too much time on their hands, so it's easy to get into that snack drawer and pick up those fun foods like that. But be mindful of those things. Try to pick up something different. Grab a carrot. Carrots have an awesome natural sweetness to them. Dr. Mackenzie and I and the kids snack on carrots on a constant basis. They're amazing little snack food, and there's a lot of good nutrients to them as well. So having that clean diet plays a big role in keeping the immune system functioning to a better capacity, and limiting those excessive things like the sugars and the alcohols especially plays a big role there. Now, take it to a next step level here. One of the other couple big things we always recommend, this is actually one of the biggest reasons I stepped outside today, is because our beautiful sun. Little did you know that our sun actually provides our body with a necessary nutrient. It allows it to produce vitamin D. Vitamin D has been a big buzzword lately because we're finding that a lot of people in our society are actually deficient in vitamin D, partially because we're not getting outside enough in a big way. We need to get outside and need to get into the sunlight. It allows our body to produce this vital nutrient in our system. Vitamin D has been shown to directly affect our immune system and allow it to function to a more complete capacity. If we do not have vitamin D in our system, if we don't have it at adequate levels, our immune system is immediately dropped, and it's going to increase our risks for infection, increase our risks for disease states at that point in time. So it's a very simple one to do. Get outside, you can get some sunlight as much as you possibly can. Don't sit inside. You need the fresh air. Now, obviously, at certain times of the year, that becomes a little bit more challenging for some people. So at those points, I do recommend getting a good, clean vitamin D supplement. There are several different supplements out there that work quite well. Don't just go to Walmart and buy something. Go to a reputable source, talk to the people over the desk, and allow them to give you a strong recommendation towards a nice, clean product. But definitely get vitamin D in your system on a regular basis. It makes a drastic difference, not only in just the way that you outwardly feel and function, your energy levels, but more importantly towards that immune system in a bigger capacity. Now, the last one I want to hit on tonight is probably a big one that I know a lot of people tend to struggle with. I know most people, as they come into our office, say that they have some underlying issues with this. In many cases, it's very prevalent, and that's when it comes down to sleep. Sleep is a big challenge in our society at this point in time. We are exposed to so many stimuli on a constant basis that it really just drives our systems crazy. And it really can compromise our ability to get a full night's rest. Now, what is a full night's rest? Now, to be honest with you, that can mean a lot of different things for a lot of different people. The national standard, if you will, the gold standard would be the 8 hours that most people tend to say, but see, that can vary very widely. I have people in our office that rely on upwards of 10, 11 hours a night of sleep to really function at their absolute best. I am the oddity, I go in the other direction. For me, I need about 5 to 6 hours to really function at a complete level and feel really well rested. So you have to find that sweet spot for yourself, but if you're not getting good sleep, if you find that you're waking up a lot throughout the course of the night, if you're not sleeping long enough throughout the course of the night, or even if you're just waking up and not feeling rested, we need to take a deeper look at what your sleep patterns are and what's going on there. It could be as simple as making some small changes, such as limiting the amount of screen time we have, the stimulus of the screen time, an hour to 2 hours before bed, or even directly looking at our sleep positions. How many pillows are we using? Are we propping our head up so we're tucking our chin right towards our chest? Are we laying on our side and feeling in really weird twisted positions? All those things can play a direct effect on the quality of sleep that we can get throughout the course of the night. So that's one thing we want to be mindful of there. If you have more direct questions there, I'd be happy to delve into that deeper on another day for you as well. Feel free to reach out to us. Now, that really kind of wraps up the tips I want to focus on here tonight. And these are definitely vital now, and these are things that we need to really create constants in our life. Consistency is always one of the most important aspects of any choices we make towards our system. We want to make sure that we have good daily routines to keep that consistent, healthy choice in our day-to-day lifestyle. It's the only way that we can create true change and true adaptation within our system. Our body has an amazing ability to adapt. I say, let's give it some positive choices, some positive stressors to adapt to, rather than the plethora of negative stressors that are so easily come by nowadays in our day-to-day lifestyle. This is something we focus on daily in our office. We focus on positive adaptation in our systems. We do this by directly addressing the spine, making sure that the spine and central nervous system is functioning to its highest capacity. My goal is always to make sure our patients' bodies are functioning to the best capacity necessary, and that they're getting the most out of the care in the office that we can deliver. And most of that really comes through education, such as this talk tonight. I love getting out in the neighborhood. I love getting out and getting in front of people, educating them to a better degree about what is possible through chiropractic care and through positive choices. So let's make some consistent choices. Let's make some small changes on a daily basis so we can all function to a better capacity, so that we can all take the maximum amount out of our lives on a daily basis. We love every one of you guys. We love getting out into the neighborhood and talking to you. I hope you found this both enlightening and educational here tonight. As I said, I'm always up for questions, concerns. I know there's some comments coming up here, so I'll make sure I answer those, if anything, at that point in time as well. But always feel free to reach out to us if you have any need for us as well. Thanks for tuning in tonight, and I look forward to talking to you guys next week as well. Take care.